Isabel, thank you very much for joining us tonight as the 4th of July approaches, to see this country now in education in Texas or Florida or other states trying to deny what has happened in the years both before July 4th, 1776, and since. It's just an extraordinary attempt here to rewrite what we have been.
Yes, and this particular 4th of July is a very significant one because this is the year when the United States will finally have been a free and independent nation for as long as slavery lasted on this soil. It's humbling, and it is really staggering to think about the fact that we are alive at this inflection point, this moment where the United States, we think of it as, 1776 is a long time ago. We think of our country as being here for a very long time. And this is a sobering reminder of exactly how long slavery lasted. It lasted for 246 years, from 1619 until 1865, with the 13th Amendment that finally ended legal slavery. And then the United States, it's 246 years, and the United States turns 246 on Monday.
And here we are trying to, in some instances, get rid of the word slavery.
There is essentially a resistance to the idea of our very history. I mean, in some of the ways I think about that, the majority of us have not had a chance to know our country's true and full history at a moment where we need to know our history all the more. There's this pushback against it, and yet we cannot avoid this history because we're living with it. I often say that, our country is like a patient with a pre-existing condition like heart disease. And if a patient has heart disease and then they have a heart attack, you might be alarmed, you might be moved to action, but you would not be surprised if a patient with heart disease without intervention or treatment had a heart attack. And so in some ways, we're seeing this chasm, a chasm that is perhaps greater than at any other time since the Civil War, which led to the end of slavery, which we are now reminded lasted for 246 years, for as long now as the country has been a free and independent nation.
And in that Declaration of Independence, they wrote all men are created equal. And they really meant men only, and they meant, of course, white men only. And it's only since 1965 that you could possibly argue that we've actually tried to apply that to everyone in this country. Some would argue that we still aren't applying it because we never passed the Equal Rights Amendment for women, never ratified it fully. And so the age of this country as a place where it allowed full participation of the population is it's less than a century.
I think we need to remind ourselves that the vast majority of people of African descent who ever lived on this soil did not live with the freedoms that we imagine, the freedoms that we connect to what it means to be an American citizen, did not get the chance to live out their full and true gifts and talents to the world, and that this idea of African Americans as one group being incorporated into the mainstream of American life is very, very new. Again, going only back to 1965, 64, 65, and 68 with those civil rights laws. And that this is very new. It's just within the lifespan of many, many, many people alive today. So the idea of truly encompassing all of the people in this land into what it means to be American, the American creed, is still very new. And of course, women were excluded as well. So really the vast majority of people who are in the country now would not have been included in the ideals in the creed and what we think of as what it means to be American. And this is a time where we are called upon to re-examine what it means to be American, to examine who is included in the ideals that we describe.